Hey guys, it's Coach Nina here for Team Biolayne, and today I want to talk to you about overeating. Okay, so many of my clients always come to me after either a weekend of overeating or some days of overeating throughout their week, and their first reaction always is to freak out over eating more calories. And that's a really normal reaction to have. As human nature, we kind of go, oh my gosh, I fell off the plan, I'm off track, and I messed up for the week. So the first thing you really need to understand is, if you have chosen to overeat, there is nothing wrong with eating more calories. Now let me explain that for a second. If you have had an event on the weekend or you've had something come up throughout the week and you've chosen to eat more food that day and you have made that conscious decision to do so, there is nothing wrong with that. You have made that choice and you should feel okay about that choice. You shouldn't feel guilty about it after the fact. Your coach is not going to be disappointed in you. No one else around you is going to be disappointed in you if you chose to overeat because there was a certain occasion or something came up. Life is going to happen. But what you need to understand is that if you do choose to overeat, there are going to be consequences in regards to your progress. Now, if you choose to overeat for a day, is that going to hinder your progress in the long term? Probably not. But if you choose to overeat consistently, or if you uncontrollably overeat consistently, then yes, that can hinder your progress in the short term. So here's a few things you can do if you did overeat. Firstly, recognize that if you overeat for a couple of days, it's not going to derail your progress for the long term. If you are currently tracking your calories and tracking your macros, you can kind of compensate for that overeating for the week following by simply reducing your calories each day for the following week. But just be mindful that doesn't put you in a negative mindset of overeating and then restricting, then overeating and restricting. If that is you, what you can just choose to do is move on. If you overate for a day or two, it's not going to be a huge deal in the long run. Sure, it might take a couple of weeks for your weight, if it did fluctuate and increase, to come back and stabilize again, but just give yourself some kindness and compassion and just take some time to let your body normalize again, to just move on and get back on track. But obviously you don't want to overeat all the time or overeat uncontrollably, so all you have to do is make sure you acknowledge that it happened and then maybe reflect back and realize, why did it happen? Take a look deeper. Were you emotional? Were you stressed? What were the triggers that caused that overeating to happen? Was it certain foods you had in the house that made you want to overeat after eating those certain foods? Reflect, figure out what the cause was, and then put a plan in place to stop that from happening again. So you might have to put some actions in place where maybe if you're feeling emotional, you recognize that and you go for a walk. Or if there's certain trigger foods in the house, remove those trigger foods. Or if you're feeling stressed and you recognize that that's leading to you to overeat, then put some activities in place that help you relax and feel less stressed. Just remember, there is never any guilt or shame in your food choices, and if you do choose to overeat, or even if you uncontrollably overeat, seek some help. There is no shame in that whatsoever. And remember, your progress is over the long term. One weekend or a couple of days or just that 1 week, even if you completely mess that up, it doesn't mean that you have to go and mess up the next few weeks. So if you have one flat tire, you don't have to go and slash the other 3 just because one thing didn't go right. Okay, so make sure you just get back on track, move on, and I guarantee you will still work towards getting to your goals. If you have any questions about this topic or anything else, feel free to reach out to me. You can email me at nina@biolayne.com, or you can contact me on Instagram at I am Nina Sillage. Thank you guys.